police is corrupt. Members of the security institutions are corrupt. Now, the Ghana Police Service Regulations 2012, CI 76, clothing allowance. An officer of the Criminal Investigation Department is entitled to a clothing allowance of 10% of that officer's basic monthly salary at the end of each month. That's section 49. Duty allowance, section 50. An officer is entitled to 40% of that officer's basic monthly salary as duty allowance at the end of the month. And then height allowance. Height allowance. An officer whose duty involves climbing heights of 30 meters or more is entitled to receive an allowance of 20% of that officer's basic monthly salary a day for any day that the officer climbs the height and the climbing is certified by the officer's immediate senior officer. Akocho. Ufrudiapa. Any appeal height allowance. And then there is entertainment allowance. The Inspector General, Deputy Inspector General, scheduled officers, regional and divisional commanders are entitled to 10% of monthly basic salary as entertainment allowance. Risk allowance. An officer is entitled to 33 1/3% of that officer's basic monthly salary as risk allowance, and this allowance is payable at the end of each month. Market premium. An officer with the requisite professional qualification who discharges duties pertaining to that profession shall be paid market premium at levels that may be agreed, etc., blah, blah, blah. Now, I asked a simple question. There's transport allowance, there's subsistence allowance, right? There's subsistence allowance. There's kilometric allowance. Let me explain that to you. An officer who travels in a personal vehicle in a discharge of official duties shall be paid a kilometric allowance at the rate approved by the minister responsible for finance. There's responsibility allowance. The Inspector General, a Deputy Inspector General, a Director General, or regional commander is entitled to that 40% of that officer's basic monthly salary as responsibility allowance. For the purpose of this regulation, a director is a senior officer in charge of any of the directorates under regulation. A regional commander is a senior officer who is in charge of a police region or any other police unit or sector. Please come to me. Now, we say, oh, the police is corrupt. Members of the security institutions are corrupt. You see the allowances I've read to you. I've just read a portion of it, not all. Rent allowance, all of those. I've not finished reading everything. All these allowances, if you go into the books now and you call the next officer and ask them a question, they will tell you most of these allowances are in arrears.